Hi, my name is Edgar Lee, and this is a pseudonym for my project. I have for many years wondered about a particular issue and thought about what I could do about it. And this issue is about Africa, the continent Africa. I'm wondering as to why the continent of Africa is directly connected with so much negativity. And when I say this, I'm referring to the dark-skinned population on the continent, or the citizens of countries south of the Sahara. This has been an issue for me for so many years, and I have been struggling to deal with this. I have done so much in terms of asking questions relating to the misunderstandings, the media, the general perception, and most of all, the ignorance that exists, especially in communities outside the continent of Africa, and surprisingly, the citizens in the African countries as well. I have struggled, as I said, with why is it so that there seemed to be an acceptance to the status quo of the various situations that exist in African countries south of the Sahara. When the name Africa is mentioned, I'm sure that what goes through your mind will be nothing but negative. In fact, the majority of people will think this way. And it ain't your fault, because by writing this book, I have done some research, and I realized that the perception that many have about the name Africa and Africans is based on what they hear and see on the international media, or from the international media, through the televisions, through the newspapers, and different forms of media. My goal in embarking upon this project is to try and effect some sort of a change that would eventually benefit the poor people, the defenseless people without voices on the continent of Africa. Everything that I'm going to say out here are small pieces of what my book entails. And my book is an extensive and more elaborated version of what I see as the problem. Therefore, appropriately, I have named my book Africa, in inverted commas, begin and close. Doomed, or doomed? In other words, I'm asking a question as to whether Africa as we know it, and remember that when we hear the word Africa, it is more related to the dark-skinned people on the continent, not necessarily the geographical location of the continent. And what I'm going to hit on are broken down into various segments, and I'm going to take the time to reflect on each segment as we go along. By starting today, I'm using this session as some sort of an introduction, and hopefully some of you out there would listen and try to get some sort of understanding and reflect on what is going on with the dark-skinned population on the African continent, and ask yourself some very tough questions. Why is it that the countries in sub-Saharan Africa is connected directly with negativity? There is nothing positive we hear about this continent. Nothing positive. And through the writing of my book, I have tried to find out why is it so. And it might surprise you to know that the situation in sub-Saharan Africa actually benefits a lot. Surprisingly, including our own leaders. As I mentioned earlier, my concern is mostly for the defenseless without a voice. And I would hope that you will reach out and feel some sort of a responsibility and do something about it, at least with your voice, just as I am doing. In the following segments, I'm going to mention what we know about the name and the term Africa, where it originates, and why we seem to accept the generalization of Africa and Africans. Why is it so that even our own people from various countries in sub-Saharan Africa seems to have accepted this myth that Africa is a country with one people? Some way, somehow, Africa being a continent is seldomly recognized. Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent comprising of over 50 independent countries with a wide range of differences, various diversities in terms of culture, traditions, languages, religions, and the list goes on. A myth has been created over so many years which actually contributes to the negativity that is directly related to the continent of Africa and the dark-skinned population. So I hope you follow me and try to reason with me, and hopefully the actions and our way of seeing things might impact the world at large and thereby effecting a positive change. And before I sign up for today, I'm going to ask you a question. How come a continent so rich, and I mean rich, I strongly believe that the continent of Africa is the richest continent in every way, in its mineral resources, in its natural resources, human resources, in terms of the agriculture, the landscapes, the geography, gold, diamond, manganese, bauxite, crude oil, some of the very rich natural minerals used in the modern day technology is all found on the African continent. But why is it so that some of the severest form of degradation, poverty, lack of basic needs in life, access to clean drinking water, access to medical help, is all being difficult for the common person down there? I would hope that you will come along with me to try and dissect the problems that we see from afar and try to impact the thinking of the world and hopefully to effect a change. And as I said, I'll go deeper and deeper into various segments which are also all elaborated in my book, and thereby find some sort of a way to impact the world and effect a change. Thank you for listening, and look out for more. Thank you.